Zaldrizes buzdaris gosdau.
It's 2023. In this video, I'm gonna be discussing, right, when's a winner. More specifically, updates. I want to talk about George's writing progress and when I think it would potentially be coming out. Please subscribe, and then this is the most important part. Turn your notifications all the way on. Lot 2 and 11. Lot 10 is high, but lot 11 is higher. And lot I don't want to increase the volume of 10 because what's the point? Because 11 is already there. Yeah, all of that is like YouTube offers different types of notifications. You can have all personalized or none. If you click on all, you'll get uploaded every single time I upload a video. Throughout the wait for House of the Dragon Season 1, we already had that. House of the Dragon Season 2 and the Winds of Winter. Ultimately, anything related to A Song of Ice and Fire. And the wait for that on this channel is known as the long night. Saltrizas postare exos. Daor. Birthday boys in bed. Okay, so if we just sort of have fun here and scroll through some of the most recent posts, well, really all of the posts of 2022, and I'm not about to go through and dissect each one of those. I've actually made a video every single time he updates us in a post on Winds of Winter all throughout 2022. Those videos, you just go to YouTube, type in Sir Hunt's Winds of Winter, and all of them from the most recent year should pop up within the first few searches, right? So, the most recent one, he actually mentions, yes, Winds of Winter, yes, and House of the Dragon Season 2 and several of the other success. I hear you, baby. And did I forget Winds of Winter? He, intentionally is mentioning it multiple times, right? So, in summary, some of the bigger posts that we got last year, right? He talks about how he's finishing entire arcs, entire character POVs for Winds of Winter. He's never updated us that much, right, for Winds of Winter. Like he's mentioned several times, if I haven't released it by this date, lock me up. Like he's mentioned once before in specific, lock me up on a lake of fire if I don't have it released by a certain date that was a Comic-Con, right, a few years ago. That didn't happen, right? And back in 2016 or 2015, he said, I imagine it will be done by Game of Thrones Season 6 and when it comes out. Never happened, right? Back in 2013, there was an update where he said he sees it, the length of it, right? But all of that's besides the point. The main thing that I just said is that, like, the update that he did where he literally said, I finished an entire character POV. Didn't give us specifics, but we assume it's Cersei, Jaime, or even Tyrion. And if he did finish Tyrion usually will have the most POVs in any of the Song of Ice and Fire books. All of the installments that have been released so far. Tyrion usually has the most POVs aside from A Feast for Crows. He's not in A Feast for Crows at all. But usually, when he were to finish, a character like Tyrion, or Jon Snow, or Daenerys, that means that the book is nigh completion, because the way that George interweaves the threads of his story together, it's like you can't have one without the other. He needs to generally know where most of the arcs for that book are going to congruently end, so that way he can definitively end a certain character. All of these paths are interwoven into this giant blanket tapestry of A Song of Ice and Fire, and something like that takes time. But like I said before, he has never updated us for something like, I completed an entire character POV arc for Winds of Winter. That's a really big update, and we got that just last year. Okay, so one of the things that I need to address in this video, because I see it commented a lot in my videos, I've referenced it a few times, but here we go. The age and the speed. Obviously, George R. Martin, being like in his mid-70s, right? He's like 74, 75, right? He's going to slow down with age, right? Regardless of whether he was in, Arnold Schwarzenegger shape or not, right? So mentally, from what I've noticed, recent interviews and then interviews over the past few years, is that he's not slowed down at all. He's witty. He's always staying focused and on topic. Usually when an interviewer will ask him a question, he's got a response that he genuinely thinks about. And those are some of the things that degrade with age, naturally, with any person, whether you're really healthy or not. Your brain isn't fully firing and is functioning as it used to be, right? So that's one of the things that you worry about with George. One of the things with George is that I think the reason why his brain is so freaking active, way more intelligent than I am, right, is he's always reading. He's always reading. He's always writing. He's always releasing things. So let's look, right? So from 1971, boom. 1976, 1977, Sand Kings, 1978, Ice Dragon, 1980, right? So George has continuously released works almost every year, right, up until 1989. And then that's the big one. That's a big jump. George then took from 1989 to 1996 off 7 years, baby, to release a Game of Thrones. Then from a Game of Thrones, from 1996, he released The Hedge Knight, which is a novella, right? Clash of Kings came out also in 1998. Then A Storm of Swords in 2000. Then we have The Sworn Shield, or The Sworn Sword, which is another short story. Then we have A Feast for Crows, big one, right? 2005. You know, I mentioned Tyrion not having a POV for that book. Also, like, that probably made it easier for him to write Feast faster because he's kind of telling the same events that happens in A Dance with Dragons, just the other perspective of it, right? So we have Sam's POV come in and fill that gap, and Jon Snow's absent as well. So it's really interesting. And then, most recently, right, Rise of the Dragon in 2022, Fire and Blood in 2018, right, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It was the three novellas put together, right, making, the Hedge Knight series. That was compiled into one, and that was just released in 2015. Then you have World of Ice and Fire. That was also released in, I believe World of Ice and Fire was released in 2014. There's just so many books because George is always working. So the last thing I want to mention for this video before I, end it, is the length, right? So that was one of the other big updates that George has given us, is the length of Winds of Winter. It's going to be massive. He wouldn't be surprised, and he wouldn't like it also, but he wouldn't be surprised if his editor decided to split it into 2 different books. Not 2 different release dates, just it'll be released in a part 1, part 2, right? So I don't think they would space those out. I'm pretty sure they'd be available right away, right? But the reason being is because it's going to be well over 1,000 pages. For instance, one of his more recent issues in Feast for Crows, right? This book right here is an astounding, and this is whopping, because once you start reading other similar books, like the first Dune book, for instance, is only less than 500 pages, right? But this book right here, or around 500 pages rather for Dune, and that was Dune and Dune Messiah are really the same arc, right? 976 pages, and that's not even the end of the book. So George, this is going to take time, right? If I had to guess, and I always do this, right? I hope by the end of this year, we have more concrete on how much he's finished. He just said recently that, he's nearing the end and he knows, at least close to knowing the total amount of pages. But obviously, the best thing that comes about these videos is the discussion of, like, your favorite parts of the book, what you think about George R. R. Martin personally, and all that stuff down below in the comment section. I love reading and responding to people's comments. So please leave me your thoughts on everything I've said in this video down below in the comment section. Remember, like goals 420, and also turn notifications on. If you have already subscribed here on YouTube and you're a fan of mine, make sure you have the notifications turned all the way on. Like, it's all personalized and none. If you have it on all, you get alerted every single time I drop a video throughout the wait for House of the Dragon and Winds of Winter, and then also whenever I go live, right? I'm taking a little bit of a time off from the live streams, but if you have your notifications turned on, you'll get notified when I schedule and plan that next live stream, and then also all my uploads. Thank you for watching, and also consider checking out my Patreon. If you want more content, there's about 24 hours worth of exclusive content, everything based in House of the Dragon, Song of Ice and Fire, Fire and Blood, right? Audio and video. Over there on Patreon, you can join for just a few dollars. That's linked down below in the description. And also, you get a shout out in every single one of these videos. Thank you for watching. Along not,